What's up, guys? So today I have something kind of special and different. This is a gold class Benchmade. All right, in this case it is the gold class Bugout, model 535-191. So if you're not familiar with Benchmade's gold class, essentially they'll take one of their models, usually one of their popular models, and they'll basically pimp it out. It is the top tier, it is the most expensive, the best possible version of one of their knives. And because of that, they are expensive. They are literally the most expensive models that you can buy from the company. This particular one in Bugout is $750. All right, it's an expensive knife. Now this knife is all about the presentation. So the first thing we see obviously is the box itself. It's a much larger box, even though it's a small folding knife. It's actually presented to you in the open position, which we'll see in a moment here. All right, the actual box itself, as you can tell, is gold. All right, so it's different color than what you're used to seeing. All right, they have their black class and their blue class, so black and blue boxes. And of course, if you've been around the scene for a while, they used to have their red line as well, which were made overseas, so they had red boxes. But this is the first time actually seeing one of their gold boxes in person. Now, just like their other models, you can see that there's some information on the outside of the box, on the sticker. All right, also for inventory purposes, you could stack a bunch of these in the warehouse for, knife dealers. You can clearly see what it is, which is really nice. All right, so let's take a look inside the box. All right, what is a little bit different than your other Benchmades is right off the bat, you get a certificate of authenticity, which gives you some good information about the knife as well. This is something you don't see with other Benchmades. All right, so it's on nice, kind of parchment type paper. We have gold accents on here. Very spiffy, classy, cool thing going on here. So it says Benchmade. It is with great pride that we offer this limited edition product to you. It has been handcrafted by our talented employees in Oregon, USA. We've carefully selected designs and materials that offer exquisite beauty. It is our sincere wish that it will be enjoyed for generations to come with as much passion and enthusiasm as we had making it. All right, and we have a signature from Les himself, which is of course the owner and founder and CEO of Benchmade Knives, if you weren't familiar. All right, so we open this up. So besides this being a certificate of authenticity that's handwritten here, it's also giving you a breakdown of all the extra features and why you basically purchase this knife as opposed to one of their base models. All right, so again, it is a model 535-191. It says genuine axis lock mechanism, Munin patterned damascene steel blade, ghost carbon fiber handles with blue C-Tech inlays, blue anodized titanium thumb studs and barrel spacers, diamond-like carbon, which we know to be DLC, coated pivot, stop pin, and lock stud, smoke gray chromium nitride coated liners, and a Benchmade design. All right, these are serialized. This one is number 999. And of course, the completion date or the birth date, February 28th, 2019. All right, so just an interesting little bit of information on the knife itself. Obviously, again, appealing more to collectors than users. But, again, you get all the bells and whistles with this. This is the point of the gold class, is all about the bells and whistles. So, taking the box out of the box, because we have a storage box here, but in addition to that, we have a display box. All right, so if you want to, put that in storage or whatever, you can actually display this, maybe on a countertop, whatever. If you have a couple of them, I'm sure they look really nice in a row. But anyway, we have a very fancy display box here, which is cut on an angle. All right, you can see it's kind of like a rubbery type finish. The box itself is very well made. All right, it's a cardboard box. It's not made out of wood or anything, but it's very well done. You can see the glistening gold logo on the top, of course Benchmade on the side. So this is a raised lettering. All right, almost feels like, separate plastic piece or something. But again, just super fancy, as you might expect it to be. All right, as we pop this open, of course, we could see the knife itself. Now, what's missing from this particular one, but you would normally get, silk bag, all right, that comes with, not only works as, a storage bag for the knife, those are actually for cleaning off the blade as well, if you didn't know that. That's your microfiber type dealio. I know it's not that exact material. I forget what those bags are made out of, but that's to also wipe down your knife. Normally they would have like a grayish silver type font. In this case, the bag would have gold to match everything else here. Unfortunately, this exact knife is missing the bag. But, you can imagine what they normally look like. It just has the gold lettering on it instead of the silver. So here's the knife. All right, you can see there's a cutout here in the foam for the handle. And again, this is why the larger box, because it has a display box inside, so this can be displayed in the open position. All right, if I were to turn this box over, it could sit just like this. Again, on a countertop, you can see it's on an angle here. All right, so when you're standing over it, you get a pretty good view of it. All right, so now that the display stuff is out of the way, obviously that's all the presentation, and that's what this knife is all about, is presentation. The knife itself is presentation, right? But at the end of the day, we have a Benchmade Bugout. I do want to make that very clear. For the people who have money to carry around a $750 knife in their pocket, it is a very usable knife with all the features that you would expect, you know, from a regular Bugout. It just has the bells and whistles. It looks maybe a little bit nicer to some people, you know, but at the end of the day, you can carry and use this thing just like you would any one of their knives. It's just a lot of people, I would say most people, would probably take a little bit more care of it. You know, maybe not stick it in the mud, you know, or use it in some applications just because of its expense. But it's not just an art piece. It's not just something to gawk at. You can definitely use it. It's a very, very usable knife, which is also very cool as well. So taking a close look at this blade, all right, so this is the Munin pattern Damascus or Damasteel. What's interesting is that the engravings on here, on some angles, they totally blend in. Like if I hold this knife like this, you can't really see that Benchmade logo. But as I tilt it down, it pops out and it's very clear. All right, as well as on the back, our serial number, our 999, also just disappears in the pattern. So at a certain angle, you can't even see it, but you cut the light away and there it is. Now I'll tell you what's really cool about having number 999. If you happen to know anyone who's boycotting Benchmade because of their anti-Second Amendment agenda, well, you can just flip it upside down and just tell them that it's made by the devil himself. Is that too soon? So jokes aside for a second, I do want to touch upon this subject because obviously it's something that's talked about a lot. I just want to say right now that I don't care if you're for the company or against the company. I keep politics out of it. When I'm talking about a product, and that's what this is, a product, it's just a tool. I don't really care who made it. I don't really care what their stance is on anything. Okay, I'm just focused on the knife. So I do respect whether you're for or against it, but it doesn't matter to me. The focus is on the knife. So getting back to the knife here, you can see the handle. All right, the carbon fiber scales that are on this is really nice. The ghost carbon fiber, it's kind of in between like marbled and like a standard weave. All right, it's just a really nice appearance. All right, these blue C-Tech handle inserts are very, very cool as well. I've had C-Tech on other knives. It's not like really, really durable. I had a fixed blade that had a handle with just C-Tech, and the maker was telling me that like around the edges, sometimes it would chip out a little bit. As an insert, it's totally fine, but I'd probably stay away from it if it was the full scales. In this case, it doesn't really matter too much. It is on both sides, you can see. Open frame, you know, same as the other Bugouts. You can see the blue standoffs here, as well as the double thumb studs. You know, of course, the DLC coated hardware. It's really, really nice. I mean, just basically, like I said, a pimped out version of a Bugout. Now, obviously, some people are into Damascus, some people aren't. All right, it has a standard pocket clip you'd find on all the other Bugouts, so nothing special there. All right, so I grabbed a piece of paper here so we could do a cut test. All right, let's split this down. Two smaller pieces. All right, see, it's nice and sharp. All right, it is a very usable knife, not just a showpiece. All right. It's a working knife. It just happens to look beautiful. Now, not everyone is obviously going to put a $750 knife in their pocket and just go to town in the dirt and grime. But if you wanted to, you certainly could. Guess what? It glows in the dark too. How about that? So I dimmed the lights here. There's still plenty of natural light, but I grabbed a flashlight here and just charged these scales. And obviously, as you can see, they glow in the dark. So it's pretty cool. So not only do the C-Tech inserts glow quite bright, but there's actually layers in the carbon fiber that also glow. So very, very cool. There's a little tidbit. It's interesting because the paperwork that we read, the little certificate there, didn't mention this. This is something I heard from someone else at some point, and then remembered to do it. So clearly it does work. It does, in fact, glow in the dark. So let's go back to that price tag, that $750 price tag. It's not cheap. This is not a budget knife. This is not a deal, so to speak. This is a higher end knife, right? That's obviously going to cater to a different type of person. I would say most people buying these knives are collectors. Just hands down, you're not going to find someone randomly on the street walking around with one of these in their pocket that's all scratched and beat up. It's just not going to happen. Yes, those people still exist. They are extremely rare. But I will tell you, as far as the collector market goes, it's huge. Now, some people will be scratching their heads thinking, who's spending money on this? Lots of people are spending money on this. Now, I also want to make it clear that I'm not trying to justify the price of this knife, nor am I saying it's worth it. Worth is very subjective. For a lot of people out there, it is not worth it. For some people out there, it is worth it. Like I said, Benchmade wouldn't be making these knives, and other companies wouldn't make expensive knives if people weren't buying them. But there are plenty of people out there buying them, and some of those people are actually using them as well. Now, as much as I would love to stick this in my pocket and use it every day and beat it up, I'm just not going to. I'm not in a financial position to just use a $750 knife like it's no big deal. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are on the same playing field, and that's why you think it's crazy to spend this much money on a knife. For me, I just traded for it so that I can experience this, and I'm going to use this in the future as collateral to get other things. Now, for some people, something like this might be their grail Benchmade knife, you know? $750 is a lot of money to a lot of people. But I'll tell you, this is not my grail Benchmade. If there was one Benchmade model I can have right now, it would be the Benchmade Model 49. It is a balisong with a Chris style blade. And I'll tell you, I've only seen two for sale in probably the last 5 years, and both of them went for over $3,000. So when you're lusting after a $3,000 or $4,000 knife, the $750 one seems a little bit more obtainable. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.